Whether portrayed in movies or passed along as a factoid on the internet, a common wisdom is that we only use about 10% of our brains. So today on Brief Brain Facts, let's figure out if there's any truth to this common knowledge. We at Brief Brain Facts get this particular question a lot, and we already answered this in a previous episode, so just listen to her.
Every piece of your brain is always working together so that you're the best you can be.
So remember, watch our videos because we may have pre-answered your questions. Because I know y'all ain't watching when I hear this particular question. Anyway, we made a New Year's resolution to get it to 1,000 subscribers this year. But this is a group effort, so please subscribe to our channel and share with family and friends. Don't forget to hit that like. Oh, you want to know why the common wisdom that we only use 10% of our brains isn't wise at all. Okay, fine. Sorry, I thought this was going to be a short one, my bad. As I mentioned, we get this question a lot. Whether from viewers, followers on social media, friends, and family, no one seems to be immune from believing or partially believing that we only use 10% of our brain. In 2013, a study surveying thousands of American adults found that about 65% believed this particular myth about the brain. The myth's immunity in popular culture from fact highlights what it's implying about the human brain and one's potential. We all have faults. I know, even me. And it would be really cool if we could somehow tap into a hidden center of the brain to eliminate those shortcomings. I mean, who hasn't wanted to predict the future or fly? While there are no clear origins of the myth, there are some theories as to where it originated. In 1908, William James wrote that we are using only a small portion of our possible mental and physical resources. Another potential source may be from a study performed in the 1920s and 30s by Carl Lashley, where he removed a large part of the cortices of rats, finding that these animals were still capable of learning and relearning tasks. However, the most likely source comes from a 1936 self-help book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, in which the myth that we use only 10% of our brains was explicitly stated. Wherever the myth began, people have been believing it for nearly 100 years, without any evidence to support it. While the brain is complicated, what researchers, medical professionals, and other brain specialists understand is that generally, we use the whole brain, even while sleeping. One major reason this seems to be the case is due to the detrimental effects illnesses and injuries have on an individual when only a tiny portion of the brain is impacted. A good example of this is the effects seen in Parkinson's disease. In Parkinson's, a very specific area of the brain, the substantia nigra, is affected. The area is housed within the basal ganglia and represents far less than 10% of the brain. But the damage to this area is devastating, resulting in the cognitive and mobility impairment seen in Parkinson's disease. Another indication that the brain is utilizing more than the common belief of 10% is that, generally speaking, the brain represents about 3% of the body's weight, yet uses 20% of the body's energy. Our brains would be too energy inefficient to assure our survival, even under mildly harsh conditions. But wait, there's more. Imaging such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, and positron emission tomography, PET studies have found that we use nearly all, if not all, the brain for even the most mundane activities such as viewing a picture. In fact, scientists argue that it's more difficult to find areas that show no activity. Thus, reversing that 10% used, 90% unused to 90% used, 10% unused may be a more accurate estimate, and this reversal is evidence-based. One thing that this myth may be based off of is due to that rat study I mentioned earlier. Importantly, it didn't demonstrate used brain areas and unused brain areas, but more accurately demonstrated the idea of neuroplasticity, which is the idea that the brain can be rewired, and near normal functioning may resume when damage to certain areas of the brain are sustained. So the next time someone asks you if there's any truth to the idea that humans only use about 10% of their brains, tell them no, that we need and use the whole thing, and then hope that a fight doesn't ensue. What do you think about the 10% myth, and do you think we would be functional if it were true? Comment below. If you liked what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and take a look at our Patreon page for updates and perks for our members. As always, thank you for watching.